Ex-stepmom feels entitled to a relationship with me after 6 years of no contact and wrecking my childhood after she got busted by a preacher for lying. YouTube lurker, first-time poster here. Big shout out to Reddit tubers like The Click, MK, Redditor, Dark Fluff, and Vincy for giving me the guts to unload this garbage off my chest. After years of bottling it up, I was told to finally spill this mess to people outside my tiny town who don't know this utterly entitled jerk. Obligatory note. This went down years ago but haunted me for freaking forever. TLDR. My stepmother pinned the blame on 11-year-old me for her getting called out while I was mid-seizure, and even after 6 years of zero contact, she's still harassing me to talk while I deal with medical crap. Apparently her guilt's eating her alive or something. I, 24F, am a divorced kid. My bio parents split when I was 4. Mom started dating again when I was 7. A solid guy I adore to death. But my absolute moron of a father cycled through women from when I was 4 to 8, half the time barely showing up in my life anyway. That's not the point here, though. This is about his last girlfriend/wife before he croaked. My stepmother, who I not so lovingly call my ex-steptrash ST, waltzed into my life after meeting my dad at a women's rehab group in my hometown, where he and his Christian rock band played Deep Bible Belt, Southern US vibes. I always had beef with the women/girls who popped in because of bullying over my ridiculous name. Thanks, Dad, and his first post-divorce girlfriend who roughed up me and my little sister when we were tiny. Plus, Dad's drug habit was why he and Mom split, so I knew exactly what ST's rehab group was for, which cranked my distrust to 11. She showed up one day when I was 8.5, summer, birthdays in January. During Dad's week, 50-50 custody. He was supposed to take me and my sister, then 7, to our uncle's to swim, but we were stuck waiting for Saint. That's when Dad dropped that they'd been dating for 3 months without a word to us. Context. He'd flipped out at Mom for not telling him about her boyfriend, so this hypocrisy stung. I remember staring at Dad, then ST, back and forth, before pointing at her and saying, "She's gonna mess things up bad." That set the tone for us. Fast forward. Dad marries this chick, and she starts using me as a guinea pig for her psychology degree. She never finished, by the way. I'm 11 now, Super Bowl Sunday 2012, post-church, playing in my room with my sister and cousin, waiting for lunch. They're on my computer messing with Movie Star Planet, huge back then, snapping pics with the camera. Flash goes off and I feel off. Red dots everywhere. I tell them, and my cousin cracks. "What you about to seize?" Guess what? He nailed it. I don't remember much next. Just bits from my sister, cousin, and Dad later. They ran downstairs for drinks. Left me on the bed. Dad came up for lunch and found me in a full-blown grand mal seizure out of nowhere. He kept me from smashing myself up while calling 911. I woke a bit in the ambulance. Dad saying I was fine and to sleep, so I did. Next thing, I hear "Touchdown Patriots," and Dad cheering. First words out of my mouth. "You watching the Super Bowl without me?" Room went wild. First time in ages Mom and Dad were together without yelling. Not the last, but that's another tale. Eyes adjust, white hospital room, still in my church dress. Mom and Dad call the doc back and I'm booked for 1,000,000 tests, plus a bonus hospital trip after finding out I'm allergic to the seizure meds they gave me while I was out. Years later, Mom, at 17, tells me this. While I'm unconscious getting tests, ST doesn't check on me. She calls our pastor to pray. Good guy, but thanks to her and Dad, I'm done with Christianity. Small hospital, kid involved, only direct family allowed in. ST lies, says she's my bio mom. We look nothing alike. She's 28. I'm 11. Real mom shows up. Pastor says family only. But a nurse, Mom's friend, sorts it out. ST gets booted, and the pastor chews her out for lying about Mom being uninvolved when she was super active in our lives. I was supposed to go to Mom's after her shift, right after the Super Bowl. Post-hospital, Mom takes me home, and I'm off school a week. Seizure's a mystery, so my doc wants checkups every other day. Things shift when I'm back at Dad's. First day back from school, I'm washing dishes, my chore, and ST storms in while Dad's gaming in their room. She snarls it's my fault the church hates her, and she despises me for it. I'm 11, and this 28-year-old's blaming me for her getting caught in a lie. After that, she and Dad brush off any sickness I have post-seizure. It's in your head. Or you're exaggerating. It's not that bad. Dad, a Navy vet, always pulled that card. Not getting that years of meds tanked my pain tolerance. Funnily enough, they were kinda right. More on that later. We loathed each other. She'd Bible-thump me constantly. Once made me late on a freshman English project because I said Greek mythology made more sense than scripture. Still do. Now a Norse pagan/moon Wiccan. She got so paranoid about my hate that she demanded to see my counselor chats. Assigned after dual suicide attempts at 14. Even I, obsessed with Criminal Minds and Law and Order, Knew that was shady as heck. Told my counselor. She shut it down fast. She's mostly been gone since I was 17, when dad died of a drug overdose/withdrawal heart attack. Turns out they were back on junk. Shocker, told you so. And the fumes made me and my sister sick for months. We didn't know till he passed. Last saw ST 6 months later at 18, when I snagged dad's 12-string electric guitar. Big music fam. But she wouldn't quit. Recently, in college, stressed from health crap tied to the seizure and a half-brother's sudden death, ST spams my Facebook Messenger. Fake nice stuff like, "How's school?" Then flips, calling me an abomination for coming out as demigirl, semi-non-binary, femme-leaning. They slashed them then. I hadn't told her, only college pals across the country knew. Turns out a brother still talking to her spilled it after I asked to be sibling in our brother's obit. Assuming I still dealt with her like my sister sometimes did. He knew I despised her but not the full why. Not tight with my brothers for various reasons, but still. ST harassed me over the phone during finals, right before heading home for medical tests. Tests show epilepsy, autism, and a brain vein malformation, missed post-seizure because my old neurologist was a clown who blamed low blood sugar. That's a side effect of epilepsy and the malformation, not the cause. I've got blood sugar issues, but seizures tank it worse thanks to my jacked up hormones and chemistry. Dropped out of college over insurance, now heading to my state capital for a neurosurgeon consult, radiation or cut the malformation out. Posted on Facebook to warn family, epilepsy's genetic, I'm the first, and update cousins I still talk to. ST comments I should visit her instead. I nearly lost it. Boyfriend calmed me down before I did something dumb. He replied that family wanting contact better keep ST clueless about my life and whereabouts. Now, only my uncle, dad's last sibling, and his son stay in touch with me or my sister from dad's side. Mom's fam's been distant forever, save one brother. Hoping this cools off before I crack, but ST's burned so many bridges in our biker-heavy small town. Family included. She's unlikely to show up. Sorry this is a novel, I had to vent. She's been trashing my life since I was a kid. Hoping this brings peace while I handle everything. Endless thanks to my boyfriend for keeping me grounded. Plus my sister and stepdad for helping with appointments and meds while I sort disability. Edit. Wow. Thanks for the kind replies and tips. First big post outside Obey Me and Twisted Wonderland subs. Y'all rock. Quick updates from comments. 1. ST's blocked. Family still tied to her are out of my loop. We distanced after dad died. Uncle checks in regular since he's tight with my boyfriend's neighbor. We see each other more now. He and his younger son, close since I was a baby. Field questions for me. 2. Love hearing your epilepsy stories. It's comforting I'm not alone. Surgery's new territory. Still got tonsils, wisdom teeth, etc. And with both bio parents gone, I'm scared. But surgeries may be August. I'll be with my boyfriend by then. His retired parents nearby to watch me while he works. Things are looking up. Pumped for late March, warmer in any Arkansas. Perfect for bikes. First ride of the year with BF was unreal. Full rally ride end of March is next. Praying I dodge more entitled jerks from my past. Looking at you, X and his folks. Stories for days face with rolling eyes. Thanks all hugs. Update Ex-stepmom, 41F. Feels entitled to a relationship with me, 24F. After 6 years of no contact and ruining my childhood after she got busted by a preacher for lying. Hey y'all, I'm back. And holy heck did things get nastier. For those who missed part 1 of this train wreck, check the link above. TLDR. My stepmother pinned her drama on 11-year-old me while I was seizing, and after 6 years of no contact, she's still nagging me to talk while I battle medical garbage. Guess her guilt's chewing her up or whatever. So, as I said last time, I'm headed to my state capital since I can't get squat done near me 3 hours from my hometown. That's where my dad's ex-wife before he kicked it, who I call my ex-stepjerk, SJ, flops in and out of rehabs thanks to her drug obsession. Turns out, she's chasing me down because her rehab told her to make amends with people she trashed. Guess who's the only one she can't reach? Yup, me. The stepkid she called an abomination. Blamed for her mess, and tormented mentally and emotionally from day one. Well, brace yourselves. This chick can't handle rejection. She showed up in my hometown and harassed my elderly uncle, all to track me down for a sit-down to hash things out. First off, no way she came just for that. Her mom lives here, and her creepy younger brother, a total street leech, yelled at me during our Christmas parade while I was with my boyfriend. Super unsettling since I hadn't seen that creep in 7 years. Not since he got hauled off to state prison right before dad died. Anyway, SJ pulled every trick, even dragging her MOM into it to call my younger sister, 23F, who grooms dogs in town and takes our old pup there. My sister respects my no-contact rule with SJ. She gets the trauma that Hag left me with still haunting me. But back then, she didn't see it because SJ smothered her with fake love just to rub it in my face. Me and my sister are cool now, but growing up was rough. I got neglected by both bio parents and SJ. Mom thought Dad was ignoring my sister and overcompensated with me, his baby girl. Truth is, Dad dodged us both, glued to World of Warcraft, which I later learned was his dodge for popping pills. Junkie's gonna junk, right? So, I'm at my neurologist, got genetic epilepsy and a brain tumorish thing I need cut out soon. No clue when yet. Someone on my last post suggested Dad's drug use might have caused it, and it got me thinking. I asked my neuro and y'all, she freaked. She scrambled to order new tests to check it out. Context: I was a savior baby, Mom's term, born because Dad thought a kid would keep him clean, and Mom hoped to save their marriage because she was nuts for that deadbeat. Spoiler: neither worked. They had me and my sister, and before they split, yup, Dad was always blitzed. Couldn't work after wrecking his back in the Navy, so Mom was our only cash flow. Arkansas 101. Jobs suck unless you farm, and Walmart's king. My town's got factories and bars. Mom worked both back then. Now, tying this mess together, SJ caught wind of my surgery from a Facebook post I made to warn my cousins. She's blocked everywhere I can think of. Just Facebook since I don't do other platforms. And pray she's not on Reddit. After my latest neurochat about possible gene screw-ups, I got rushed to the hospital for labs. And y'all, oh my gosh. That commenter was dead on. I'm literally built broken. Not only did the 3D meat printer glitch my brain, that drugged-up moron was so tweaked on meth my genes are trashed. I was speechless, just bawled my eyes out. It got so wild. They told me I'd be better off snipping my tubes to avoid risking kids. Good thing my boyfriend and I already nixed kids. My epilepsy, his family history, plus autism from the mom's side. I'm high-functioning, nonverbal autistic means we'd likely pass it down. But this? It messes with your head and heart bad. I vented to friends on Facebook Messenger, totally wrecked. One friend, who knew my parents and SJ, lost it for me. She's got 2 little girls and said she couldn't imagine risking that with her kids. We hit a cafe in town to decompress. Me craving matcha boba tea, her wanting cupcakes. And y'all, I nearly decked someone. SJ was there. This freaking nuisance bolted to our table, recognized my friend, and when she saw me, tried to hug me. I was having war flashbacks just seeing her. She yapped, but I couldn't hear. Her mouth just moved, till my friend shoved her off. Guys, I freaking seized on the cafe floor. Stress from that which made me collapse. Our trip to check my head. Got out that night and crashed at my boyfriend since. I'm crying typing this, terrified to leave the house knowing she's around. No idea what to do, y'all. Boyfriend's drowning me in cuddles, snacks, and matcha/Dr. Pepper. Friends, including the cafe one, checking in nonstop. I'm grateful, but my agoraphobia's already brutal, and now I'm scared stiff in this cursed town. Sorry for unloading this, I had to vent. It's terrifying, and I needed it out before I completely lose it. Huge thanks to the Click on YouTube. His streams have kept me sane when I can't focus on fanfiction or art. My mother is draining the newly found life out of me. My 25F parents, 50F, 52M, should have never had kids. I'm an accident that never should have gotten a shot, and I say that even while I'm clawing to hold on to life now. They were unfit back then, and they're 1,000 times more useless now. But my mother, she's the worst. Before I could even form memories, she cheated on my dad, then spent the next 24 years convincing herself he's the villain. We hashed it out a year ago. She thinks he's to blame because he begged for a 3-way with his buddy. She could have said no. She ran that marriage like a dictator. She never hesitated to tear him down for anything else, so nobody forced her into it. She did it, fell for the guy, started sneaking around, but in her twisted head, she's justified because he suggested it. I've told her it's nonsense, but she twists it until she's the martyr. When she remarried, it was a petty race to beat my dad to the altar. Not out of love. She'll admit it. My stepdad, who's got no reason to lie 20 years later, says she was hooked on heavy drugs during their marriage. He got wrecked in a car crash once, and she swiped his painkillers to get blitzed, leaving him to writhe in agony. One time, high as a kite, they argued, and she shoved him down a flight of stairs. So he bailed, and she spent my whole life whining that he abandoned us. She lost it after that. Drinking or drugging, she crashed her car hard, somehow making her even more unhinged. For years, she rotted away. Filthy house, no electricity, no food, too wrecked to get me to school. We ended up homeless more times than I can count. So I ditched her. Then the guilt trip started. But the creepiest part? She got weirdly predatory with me. I didn't clock it then, but I've had years to unpack it. She'd make me shower with her when the power was out. Did nothing for warmth. Paraded around naked constantly, complimented my chest, gushed about my puberty changes, left nudes on the shared computer, and once flat out told me I was into her. Not a question. Not a maybe you feel this. She stated it like fact. No basis for it, none. I'm beyond uneasy around her. And I don't hide it. Fast forward to 2023. I'd ghosted her for years. I was homeless, health tanking, but I'd rather die in a parking lot than beg her for help. I'd accepted it. My ex reached out to her for me. I don't blame her. She saved me. But being stuck with my mother again is crushing me. First 6 months, I bit my tongue. She was caring for me while my body healed. I played grateful daughter, swallowing it when she stomped my boundaries. Like, don't touch me. Given her past crap. Around 6 months in, she starts yapping about some overseas guy who'll swoop in, fix her life, buy us a house. Total scam. Called it, but did she care? Nope. Sent him cash for some building project. Maybe a house, who knows, she lied about that too. Lost her apartment over missed rent anyway. This next bit isn't as vile as her other stunts, but it enrages me. She got me pizza for my birthday while we were starving in our cars. I took it, we were desperate. Said she bought brownies too. Asked if I remembered her baking them for me as a kid. I said no. Asked if I recalled anything good from childhood. I said no again. She bawled. Then took the brownies and scarfed them all herself. Like, I didn't want birthday junk. I didn't even want to mark it. But why bring it up just to hog them while we're starving? She pulled that nonsense constantly, doing favors like driving people around, asking for candy or soda, rarely real food, then keeping it all. In 9.5 months out there, she somehow packed on weight. I dropped a ton. Now we're housed, and she's still a disaster. We've got cats again, despite her track record of getting them killed. She vapes inside around them. I've begged her to stop, but nah, it cramps her vibe. She was sleeping upstairs with her boyfriend, but his snoring bugged her. So now she camps outside my room, TV blaring all night. I ask her to ditch it. She claims I'm trampling her PTSD coping excuse, even though she slept fine without it here before. She's loud as heck, always at max volume, waking me constantly. Quit her job because she's too arrogant to be trained. Thinks she's the ultimate worker. Moans nonstop about pain to avoid complaining. But she whines plenty. I can grit my teeth for a while, but eventually she'll push too far, and I snap. Tell her how she's wrecking me. She flips it, uses my anger to paint me as the jerk. Calls me selfish, spoiled, ungrateful, says I'm always negative, never happy. Here's the kicker. I was depressed 15 years, but against all odds, I clawed my way out. Religion helped. I could smile at the sunrise, breathe, feel proud, get hyped for life. For the first time in 15 years, I didn't want to vanish. But she's crushing it. Every screaming match, every insult, every time she pins her garbage traits on me, every time she makes me the monster she is, I felt zero joy today. No passion, no spark, didn't care for myself, barely ate. Stayed in bed to waste away. I'm supposed to stick it out till August 2026, but I can't. She's driving me off the edge. Haven't been toyed with like this since living with my dad and his girlfriend in 2020/2021. Thought I'd escape that hell, but I'm trapped again, and it's like a sick cosmic prank.